Om Manojavam Marutatuya Vegam Jitendriyam Buddhimatam Varishta Vadatmajam Vanariyuta Mukyam Shri Ramadutam Sharanam Prapadye. Welcome back, dear devotees, to our series of shorts of examining different verses from Sri Hanuman Chalisa, this prayer that is close to so many of us, that so many of us rely on in times of need, various kinds of times of need. I know that, this past Saturday I slept on the shoulder weird and I was having a hard time. But Hanuman is associated with healing, right? And so I was chanting Jai Hanuman in my head, trying to get some relief. And by his grace, I am feeling better today. So our last session, we're trying to take these. We're getting, right into the chopais, having studied, briefly the life of Tulsidas, as well as the invocation, the opening two dohas, those longer couplets. We're going to try and do two couplets each, so 4 lines of Chalisa each class. And so we've done the first two. Jai Hanuman Gyan Gunasagar, Jai Kapisa Tiuloka Ujagar, Ramaduta Adulita Baladama, Anjani Putra Pavanasutanama. And we begin with verse 3, which goes Mahavira Vikrama Bajarangi, Kumati Nivara Sumati Ke Sangi. You are a great hero, Mahavira, of exceptional valor, Vikram. Vikram is a very popular Indian name. There's a film director who's worked with Vice, who's the director of Kumare, the great controversial documentary. I encourage you, all of you, to seek it out. It's Vikram Gandhi, filmmaker. Bajrangi, your body as strong as lightning. Vajra means thunderbolt or lightning bolt. Angi, like Gauranga, he of the golden limbs, the 9 angas of bhakti, the limbs of bhakti. His body, his limbs are like lightning. Kumati nivara sumati ke sangi. You are the companion, you are sangi in sangha, in gathering with good sense and wisdom. So firstly, a word about this term Mahavir. Mahavir is one of the most common names for Hanumanji. Maha, of course, means great, like Mahabharat. Vira, cognate of our English terms virile and virility, means power. And so Mahavira can mean, heroic is one of the words that Vira can mean. Potent. Um, there's a lot of talk about Hanuman as a brahmacharan. Vajra is a related word, this lightning potency that one says that one can have when you retain your jing, your semen, according to different ascetic tantric practices in the Hindu, Buddhist, Taoist type traditions. Jain traditions, these kind of pan-Asian meditative yogic traditions that have these elements of yoga and tantra mixed in them. This idea of like spiritual realms within the body, energy being preserved within the body. It has these kind of connotations. And so since Hanuman is the ultimate brahmacharan, he is said to have stored up an immense amount of power. And we'll see how he gets that power eventually in the story. Um, there are few deities, male deities, that are as powerful as Hanuman. You see male deities in Hinduism, they're usually kind of chill. You have exceptions, you have your Bhairavas, you have your Shiv Nataraj, but usually Shiv is meditating. He's chill. He's not, dancing to destroy the world. That's not his time yet. Similarly, Lord Vishnu, reclining. Even Lord Rama, this very, form of the Lord who came as a warrior, he is often depicted as very kind of Saumya, benevolent. He's not Ugra Rama. But it's said that Hanumanji and Ayyappa Swami are the two of the deities that have the most, two of the male deities that are kind of Shaktified in a way that you only see most of the time with female deities. Durga, Kali. These are the deities that you think of when you're talking about raw power, the most Shaktified deities. As if I can use that term, neologism. But Mahavira has another connotation that I think is very interesting to explore, especially how we, in terms of how we think about Hanuman, in that it is the name you may know, maybe the most immediate connotation is Mahavira is the name of the founder of Jainism. Jainism is a Gnostic tradition, so they do not, so like the Buddhists they and the Charvakans, they do not accept the authority of the Vedas, right? These great Gnostic schools. You have the six Astic schools of philosophy, like Vedanta, Samkhya, Yoga, who accept the authority of the Vedas and the Brahminical priesthood, and then you have other religions that reject it, Buddhism, Jainism, and Charvaka, which is this kind of atheistic materialism of the ancient world, secular humanism. But Jainism is one of those paths, and it grows out of these kind of more ascetic ritual traditions, where what it means to be a Mahavir, a great hero, means to be a great renouncer. The entire ethic of Jainism is focused on nonviolence. And so their founder, Mahavir, like Gautama Buddha, was born a kshatriya, born a warrior, part of the warrior caste, who renounced everything and became a sannyasin, an ascetic, and founded a religious path. And he is Mahavir not because he is violent or bellicose in any way, quite the opposite. He has an incredible tolerance for pain, for suffering, and an incredible commitment to the ascetic path. It was said that there was a serpent who was biting him, and he did not display any reaction despite the venom coursing throughout his body. That it was his power that he displays. So the Mahavira, without getting too much into it, he was a being of tremendous power who showed that you can wield this reservoir of authority without having to pick up a sword, without having to resort to violence. And he served as an example to Gandhi, certainly, who integrated a lot of Jain values into his practice, who in turn influenced Martin Luther King and many other folks. The first animal hospitals were founded by Jain people in the ancient world. And the Jains also have their own version of the Ramayana, in which Rama is the perfect ascetic. We often talk about Rama as a warrior, but what of Rama's tapas? What of Rama's willingness to leave his family for a commitment to righteousness? What of Sri Rama's care for living beings and for the earth and for other people? And in these versions, Rama, of course, is a Jain master. He does not kill anyone. So often, Lakshman is the one to kill Ravana, the bellicose brother, the hot-headed warrior brother. And Hanuman is in these epics as well. He plays the role of a being who is bound by kama, by karma and samsara, but who gains liberation by serving this great being, this Tirthankara known as Rama. And so what is Mahavir's wisdom? What is his way of being a great hero that Hanuman somehow we can glean also embodies? He says non-violence and kindness for living beings is kindness to oneself. For thereby one's own self is saved from various kinds of sins and resultant sufferings, and is able to secure his own welfare. This could have been pulled straight from the mouth of Swami Vivekananda. We do not help other people because we are attached to helping the world. We help people because it is our role to serve. Hanuman doesn't think, oh, I can go out and serve Ram by myself and get Sita back and do. He doesn't do any of that. He doesn't kill Ravana. He kills other demons. Certainly, he's not a pacifist in the original Valmiki text, but certainly he his great skill is he is able to step out of the way in order to give primacy for other peoples. He's always the messenger of Ram. He's going to get herbs to fetch to secure Lakshman. He's searching for Sita. And so his focus is never on what's in it for me. His focus is always on how can I serve those around me. And there lies his power. These are the original padukas of Mahavira in a great Jain monument. And this Bajrangi also, so what does it mean that Hanuman is Bajrangi? Well, in the story of one of Hanuman's origin stories, where we'll tell it more fully in another episode, but suffice to say, he's young and he sees the sun in the sky and he says, "Oh, what a lovely peach." What a lovely orange, what a lovely nice fruit that I can go grab a mango that I can pluck out of the sky and just eat. And so he jumps at it. And so Surya sees this powerful monkey coming towards him. He doesn't know what to do. And he says, "Indra, Maharaj, king of the gods, please help me." So Indra marshals his elephant, Airavata, and he throws a mighty thunderbolt, his vajra. Remember, Indra's weapon is the vajra, the lightning bolt. And it hits Hanuman, who comes tumbling to the earth and who falls and who breaks his jaw. That's how he gets. Hanu means jaw. Mahahanu, big jaw, is the name of one of the demons in the Chandi. And Hanuman itself means broken jaw. And so it is from this fall. But ordinarily, this is a feat in, thinking that, if any of us were hit by Indra's Vajra, we'd probably be dead. We probably wouldn't even have a jaw to break. We'd be incinerated. And so Hanuman, this incident is meant to say your body is like lightning, is that it is indestructible. It is more indestructible than the most indestructible thing. That is what it means for Hanuman to be Bajarangi. But I looking into this word Vajra, it reminds one of those of you who are going to Orion G's class later on today. Those of you going to Orion G's class later on today will no doubt be familiar with the Vajrayana, the lightning bolt tantric path of Buddhism, followed prominently in Tibet and in Nepal and in parts of Southeast Asia. And this ritual instrument, this kind of doohickey down below the bell right here, there's often the bell and the vajra are all, in fact, you can't see it right now, but on the shirt that I'm wearing, let me see. I don't know if you can see on my shirt, you have this symbol, right? This mandala, and at the center, there's surrounded by these vajras. What are the vajras used for? This is from a commentary, one of the explanations for the Guhya Garbha Tantra, which is the source text for the text that we now know in the West as the Tibetan Book of the Dead. This famous Buddhist funerary text. But the commentators explain what is the Vajra. It says, a symbol of divine power and indestructibility often associated with the male consort's energy, like Shiva's energy. We talked about this Vajra energy. A symbol in Buddhism representing indestructibility and the power of compassion, often depicted as a ritual implement. This idea, again, compassion and indestructibility. It's not that compassion is going to make us physically indestructible, but if we remain in a place of compassion, that means our moral fiber remains undegraded. Our integrity remains intact. It is the thing that is preserved. A symbolic ritual object that represents indestructibility and spiritual power. Hatha Vajra or Vajra Viraje. We'll discuss that Hanuman is the wielder of the Vajra. So we have not seen the last of this implement, this symbol. We will his body, yes, is a vajra, and he himself wields a vajra. We will examine this in, I think, 2 lectures time. A ritual. What is the connotation of his indestructibility? We find in the Puranas descriptions of what is death to living beings. Demons, asuras, people with an asuric mentality, which includes many of us at many times, we assume, oh, death means the death of the physical body. But where does amrit come from? Where does indestructibility come from? As we elucidated in our churning of the ocean classes, it comes with identification with the Atma, identification of the soul. That's where real amrita is. So Hanuman, we can say his whole body, his whole being is indistinguishable from his spiritual self. So this is what it means that his indestructible, he does not have a conscious of a perishable body. He is the companion of good sense and wisdom. It's one thing to have good sense and wisdom. It's one thing to have a good idea every now and again. It's another thing to kind of abide in a place of wisdom and good sense. What does wisdom look like for the yoga tradition? This is a text that was spoken by Rishi Valmiki, the author of the Ramayana, to Lord Rama, a great Advaitic text known as the Yoga Vaishishtha. He says that the wise do not disdain to taste the pleasures that would make the beauties smile at, nor are they averse to the enjoyment of luxuries that they can rightly use and enjoy. They smell the fragrance of the mandar flowers and taste the sweet juice of the mango fruits. They regale themselves with the sweet songs of apsuras and revel in the arbors of Nandara, or the pleasure garden. They never disregard the duties that bind all mankind to them, nor neglect to perform the sacrifices or observe the ordinances that are imperious on domestic life. But they are saved from falling into the dangers and evils of all kinds, and escape the danger of falling under the feet of murderous elephants, and avoid the uproar of trumpets and the imminent death of battlefields, i.e., wise men avoid the dangers to which the ignorant are liable. They abide with those that are afflicted in their hearts, and among the marauding plunderers of the country. They dwell among the oppressed, cowardly people, and also amongst their oppressors. Thus they are conversant with the practices of all opposing parties, without mixing with any one of them. But their minds are clear of doubts, and free from errors, unaffected by passions and affections, and unattached to any person or thing. They are quite discreet and disengaged, free and liberated, tranquil and serene, inclined to goodness, reclining and resting in the Supreme Spirit. They are never immersed in great dangers. I think that's supposed to be immersed. Nor are they ever involved in very great difficulties, but remain as the boundary of mountains, remaining unimmersed amidst the water of a concungent lake, of a circumjacent lake. Adjacent, an adjacent lake. They are never elated with joy at the fluctuating favors of fond and fascinating fortune, nor are they swollen like the sea of increasing digits of the moon. They do not fade away under sorrow or sickness like the plants under the scorching sunbeams, nor are they refreshed by refreshments like medicinal plants under the refreshing dews of the night. They are employed calmly and without anxiety in the discharge of their duties and in the actions of the fruition of karma, and neither long nor relinquish the fruition which is attendant upon them. They are never elated with their success in their undertakings, nor are they depressed by the mishap of their efforts. They are not joyous in their joy and heyday, nor do they sink under danger and difficulty. They do not droop down under despondence, nor are they dejected in despair. They are not merry in their prosperity, nor do they wail and weep in their adversity. They discharge the customary duties as prescribed by law and usage, but their minds remain firm and unmoved as a mountain and at all the efforts of the body. I really like this description of the attachment because it goes again and again describing one's relationship to the world. That yes, you are mixing with people here. Yes, you are feeling empathy for people. Yes, you are fighting against injustice. But you do not become attached, you do not become identified, you do not become caught. They are doing, the realized beings, they're doing what everyone else is doing. They're chopping wood, they're carrying water. But as this wonderfully poetic passage literates, it's one thing to watch one's emotions go by, and it's another thing to get constantly caught up in them. And so spirituality again doesn't mean you are free from obstacles, free from neuroses, free from bad thoughts. Spirituality means you do not allow them to suck the life from you. That is what it means that this good sense and wisdom are brought up in this same verse about immortality. Mahavira Vikrama Bajarangi Kumati Nivara Sumati Kesangi. Why are you immortal? Why are you indestructible? Why are you so resilient? All of this comes from remembrance. All of this comes from our correct vision. And what does that vision bring out? What does that manifest in us externally? I have this verse that I've left without commentary. I think it's very sweet. Kanchana varana viraja suvesha kanana kundala kunchitakesha. That should say four, right? You are golden. Kanchana varna. You are of a golden color. You are wear fine clothing. You have shining earrings and beautiful hair. Hanuman is radiant. He has the best aura, right? He walks into a room and people are in awe. People are blissed out. People are tripping, right? He brings the spirituality into the room, wherever he goes, into the forest where he goes. He is the presence, that Shekinah, that Shakti that descends when the kirtan of Lord Rama or Lord Vishnu is being sung. Whenever the Lord is being praised, he is there. But the thing is, he is described as beautiful, as the Kanda, the part of the Ramayana that describes prominently Hanuman's journey to go save Sita is called Sundarakand, the beautiful chapter. And the thing is, Hanuman is not, monkeys are lovely creatures. So they are attractive in their own way. They're so cute. They're so adorable. We love watching videos of them on the internet. But at the same time, they're not conventionally attractive. To call someone a monkey it's considered very insulting. There's a whole history of people being compared to simians, being compared to apes, and this being basis for their dehumanization, their vilification. So what does it mean that Hanuman is a monkey and yet he's described in this beauty, almost like kind of Lord Krishna, as handsome and beautiful? His inner spiritual radiance, this inner lightning bolt of his spirituality shines forth. And so this body of his, that from a strictly material point of view is not a very auspicious body, an animal, becomes an ornament, becomes something that shines, becomes something lovely and wonderful and to be praised. So all of our vices, even what may seem like our defects, I can't say vices, but our disqualifications, they cease to become disqualifications when bhakti is applied. So thank you very much. Another wonderful class on our Sriman Hanuman Chalisa. Next week, we will be diving further into this beautiful prayer. And I hope you have a beautiful week. Thank you so much for your patience. Hare Krishna.